Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today for this presentation dedicated to something I was not against. That's not exactly the word, but for a very very long time I did not use plugins. Not that I was against, but I always considered that's only scripts from Photoshop. So you can do them yourself. But in fact, I noticed, and nowadays we get better and better even with Photoshop. And started a few years ago to play more and more with some plugins. So the idea today will be to talk about the plugin I use, because of course there are a lot of plugins or softwares. So the one I use mostly, and how I use them, because of course I have my own settings, as we all have when you use this kind of softwares. So I started with, I think, a plugin everybody knows. I mean, if you are in photography for a very long time, I started to use a Nik Collection, which was, by the way, Nik software. I think it started 1995, so just a few years after Photoshop, because Photoshop was 1990, but start to be sold as Photoshop, I think, in 1992, if I remember well. So Nik Collection, which was something used by a lot of photographers, by the way, and yeah, I use it for a very long time. And let's start maybe with this one. The only thing, I'm sorry, but I will translate, because I don't use much presets in Nik Collection. My version here is in French, but once again, it will be very easy to understand. Other plugins we will see today, so they can be, or here in the top menu filter, and you can see the plugins. If there are several plugins in one collection, like here, for example, Nik Collection 7, so you have analog, we will see it, color FX, which is the one used for the first one, I think. And also, I don't use define, HDR, pre-sharpener, etc. But I used, but not much now, just for one thing, but I will explain later. I like something very much in Silver FX for specialized for black and white. And by the way, the first version I bought long time ago was on a CD disc this times. So some plugins can be also used as standalone. I prefer to use them in Photoshop, but we will see that when we will be talking another plugin, which is something I use for something like I started 1 year ago, which is from Topaz Labs, Topaz Photo AI. I like it now very, very much, and I will explain why. Other software, Skyloom, Luminar AI, but I think because I don't have the very, very last version for all my plugins, that's the case. And one student told me recently, during my presentation in French, that Luminar AI does not exist anymore. It's Luminar Neo now. Okay. Very fast, we will see one sympathical plugin, I don't know how to say exactly, Flood 2, which allow to do water reflection. And of course, I say of course because that's the one I use most for almost 2 years now, which is Boris FX Optics for photography, because we were talking a few minutes ago about that. Some students sometimes call me uh, about Boris FX, telling me that it's very expensive. Don't forget or consider that Boris FX, there are several plugins. I don't know how many, but 7, 8, something like that, because they are very well known for movies, special effects for movies. I think they work with a lot of companies in this business. So of course, if you see the price for the wool softwares, of course, it's expensive. So you have to go, if you are interested, to go to optics, and at the bottom of the page, you have the plans. But we will see that I can share the screen and show you if you are interested. Okay, so let's start. Maybe, I don't know, with the the one which are very easy to use. Let's start with flood. So I will maybe open another image for the purpose. Okay, maybe this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's here. Of course, first, it's not the straight out of camera. It's really not a long exposure. That's the river, but I played with motion blur here, horizontal motion blur, and the place is very famous in Paris, France. That's the conciergerie, where the queen lost her head during the revolution. But that's a very beautiful place. By the way, if you come to Paris, that's one of my favorite spots in Paris, with very beautiful bridges here. If I remember well, I think there are something like 40 bridges in Paris. And some of them are really beautiful. So here I would like just very fast create a reflection of water. So Control or Command J, I duplicate my background layer. I will drag a little bit. Here I will choose the Move tool, V for the shortcut. I will hold the Shift key, so I'm sure not to go on the left, on the right, and I will drag a little bit to the top. Okay, something like that. Here at the bottom, I will fill with okay, it's not a plugin, but it's a very useful functionality for me. That's a very the best thing which happened to Photoshop last times. I mean the generative fill. So let's select with the rectangular marquee tool. I will just select. I don't need, by the way, to take it's even too much, but anyway, I take a little bit more. I will click inside the generative fill here window. I don't write anything, and generate. So it will fill. Okay, so you see directly you get, so you have 3 versions. This one also, this one, I don't know, I like the first, well, maybe the second one, yeah. No, this light, I don't like it. So I prefer this one. And I'm okay with that. So I will merge the 2 layers. So this one is selected. I hold the Control or Command key, right click, and merge layers. Okay, so now I get a little bit more space. One thing I want to say here with the generative fill, of course, you could try to do, let's say, old school techniques. You can fill with a lot of things. You can try with a clone stamp, the clone stamp tool. Sorry, yes, or there are a lot of possibilities. But what is really impressive with the generative fill, it will be able to understand You see the gradient of light, of colors, etc., which is much more difficult to do yourself. Animate. So I get my new layer with a little bit more at the bottom and filter, flaming pear, flood 2. Okay, very simple window, as you can see, with quite a good number, enough, I mean, for the setting. So the first one will be the horizon. So I will drag it to the bottom like that, for example. And what I like very much, it reflects the right colors. That's very well done. Offset, you can change a little bit here. By the way, I will do that a little bit. Okay, maybe it's better. The problem will be here. We will see when we say okay, will be the background. But let's do so altitude. I will not change. Speed no. Spin no. View. Two possibilities. I use mostly, if not always, the simple style, but you have also the complex style. So you see, maybe it has a little bit more details, as you can see here, but usually I prefer simple. You have a lot more possibilities. So if waviness is to 0, and blur, by the way, I can blur, so without any blur and without waviness, that's a perfect reflection. Sometimes it can be interesting to use that for some purposes, but here, of course, we will play a little bit with waviness. Let's say something like that. Complexity, you will see from 0, very easy to understand. Okay, so let's do something like that. Brilliance, that's very important, because the more you add, I like usually to put a lot of brilliance here. Blur, I will not blur here. Here I will not explain, that's not very important, but there is one thing which will not work here, but as you can see, you have, like in Photoshop, blend modes, and you see how much they are, that just incredible. So here normal will be the best choice, sorry, but for example, if it was a road with some details on the road, etc., depending of the blend mode, like in Photoshop, you can get your reflection with some transparency. So you have to try. But of course, there are so much here. I almost never use them. And okay, so that's it. I will not spend too much time on that. And okay, that's it. Maybe it's a little bit too sharp, but there is something, by the way, which is not very logical here. You have a sky in motion, and here the reflection is not in motion, so very easy. You select the water. Maybe I will add a little bit of feather to get something, a transition here, a little bit smoother. I don't know, 30, something like that. Control or Command J. I duplicate the selection in a new layer, which will be the river. Okay, right click, I will convert to smart object, and I will add simply a little bit of motion blur. Horizontal, that's what I want, 0 degrees. And I don't know, something to be a little bit more logical with the sky. I could try, by the way, 90 degrees, which does, as you can see, does not work very well. So I will leave it here, 0. Okay, and why not? If it's for me, it's still a little bit too sharp. Oh, by the way, I did something wrong here. I don't know why it's not applied to the. Okay, it's not very important. I can add also a little bit of Gaussian blur. So you see, it probably will be a little bit better. Okay, okay, something like that. So that's it. That's a very very simple, a very simple plugin to use. You have a trial version. By the way, just one thing to consider: Flood does not work on smart objects because I think it was not updated for a long time. So it works only on a rasterized layer. So that's it. And after the trial, but I don't know, some of my students use it for a long time without having to pay after the trial version ends. Personally, I use it also with a trial, and then was asked to pay. So I pay. It's not very sorry, expensive, so something like 35 yeah, dollars, US dollars. So that's it. That's it. Okay, so I will not insist more with this plugin, which is very easy to work with. So if you have questions, do not hesitate. The moment before we switch to another plugin.
David, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
It's Eileen. Just wondering your thoughts or your experience. You know, when you use generative fill, have you found the resolution of like the results that you get?
Yeah,
How does that compare to the resolution of like your initial?
I, I
Yeah.
understand your question. Yeah, nowadays I think it will get better and better very fast because you can see how fast now are the updates. But well, yes, the generative field. I mean, I know for Adobe Firefly. By the way, we will see the next plugin, which is Topaz. Um, it's 2048 pixels, 8 and length. So of course, it's not always adapted. If I had, for example, here to do something else on the castle, for example, which is a big part of my image, it would be a problem. But here, you see, it was just the bottom of my image, etc. So it was because you can see that my image is quite a good size. Let's say in pixels. Let's say in I will show you in for me, I like centimeters. You see, it's 45 centimeters by 38 and resolution 300 pixels per inch. I show you also inches, which is maybe much more interesting for you. So you can see 17 by so but it works. It's okay. No problem. Of course, once again, if you have to to do something much bigger on your image, depending of the definition of your image, the result will be not good. But once again, I will show you with Topaz what I do with this problem.
Thank you.
It answered your question. There was another question.
Yeah, David, it's Terry. How are you? Quick
Yeah,
question.
Terry. Yeah.
May I ask, what version of Photoshop are you using? Do you always upgrade with the upgrades?
Yeah. So here, that's not the case for because on my computer, you can't switch with Photoshop from one language to another one. So I need to have two different Photoshop on my computer. So the very last one is my French version, and this one is not the very last one, but anyway, I have almost the generative field is here. I don't know here about Photoshop. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake. Help about. You see, it's 25, so it's really good. Except the very new tools, like for example the generative fill, I could work 90% of my images with a very old version of Photoshop. By the way, I have quite a good number of students who they doesn't, for example, want to update or to pay a plan, a subscription. So they work on the old version, and that's work. Mm. I would say, for example, before the CC version, Creative Cloud, I worked a long time with a CS6, which I could use nowadays. Mm. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But of course, it's always good to update. I like to update. Not the day. I always will wait a little bit because you probably will have some bugs, etc. So I like to wait a little bit before to update. But yeah, that's it. So, for example, for my English version, I need to wait. The version 27 on my French version to get 26 on my English version. Yeah. But I tell you again, that's really not a problem. Mhm. Yeah. And don't forget also that with updates and updates and updates, and that's a question you can ask yourself with the plugins. They take a lot of space on your computer. That can be gigabytes. I don't know how much is Photoshop. It's something like 3 gig. Donc voilà, comme je le disais, Oh, I heard myself. I think, sorry, in French. I don't know why. That's interesting. I don't know what happened. You are here still?
Yeah, yes.
Hello, hello? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I don't know what happened. I heard something, me in French. I don't know why. So yeah, it takes a lot of space on your computer. It needs more and more resources. Nowadays, you need a minimum of 16 random access memory gigabytes, a very good SSD disk, because yeah, if your computer is a little bit old, it can be very slow sometime, and sometime you will even not be able to work with some plugins. Mhm. Yeah. And the price. Of course, we are talking plugins and softwares. They are quite expensive. I don't know exactly the prices, but Topaz will be about 200 US dollars. Nik Collection, I don't know, something like 150, etc., etc. So at the end, I can say even something which I was thinking about a few times ago. The less expensive software I use as a professional, because I use it on every day, it's Photoshop. Even the subscription is really not expensive. Of course, it can be expensive for some people. I can understand that very well. But yeah, it's even cheaper than it was in the past. Photoshop a long time ago was just for professionals because the price was very, very high. Mhm. Yeah. So, of course, if you want to play with all these softwares, yeah, you have to consider the price, of course. Or as we said, but we will see that later, the lifetime licenses with the first year of updates, and then yeah, it depends of the plugin. Some plugins are updated very, very often, like, for example, Photoshop, but some other plugins are not updated very, very often. So yeah, it can make sense. Okay. Other questions? No? If not, we go further. Okay, so I will close this one. We don't need it anymore. Next one, by the way, that's the reason why I also want to show this one. I generated this image with AI, but the thing is with Adobe Firefly, and as you can see, it's, as I said, image size. It's 2048 pixels and a low resolution. So of course, depending of what you do, it can be enough. But I don't know if you
Pico,
want for.
Pico,
Sorry,
stop.
sorry. Somebody said something.
Somebody is not muted, David.
Okay. Okay.
She is.
Let me check. Nancy. Okay. What a power to to mute people. Okay, I think it's okay. 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 So as we said, sometimes it's not enough. So what I will do, so first, Control Command J. Oops, sorry. Okay. I will upscale. Because some of my students also says, David, you can upscale with, for example, the crop tool here. Okay, I will choose, for example, much more here because that's 30 centimeters by, or let's say I will do the same like I will do just after that with Topaz. So from 2048, let's say 8,000 pixels, almost by 4, right? Almost by 4. Sorry, I was upscaling 8,000 also, yeah, pixels. Okay, and let's do the same 72. And okay, you see, it's upscaled. But if Photoshop made some make it better than it was in the past, to upscale images, it's not yet the software to make big upscales. So you have, of course, a lot. I work a long time with. That was also one of the first, I think, from On One. It was perfect resize. It became resize, and it's able to. It still exists, by the way. If you go on the on one site, ON1 website, you will see the software. So you can upscale up to 1,000%, which is, by the way, almost the same with Topaz. But of course, the more you will increase the size, you will lose a lot of details. At the maximum, you will get something looking as a painting, and you need, of course, to watch it several meters from your image. That's, of course, understandable. So usually, or I need just to upscale a little bit, I will use Photoshop, no problem. But if I need to do much more and also much better, I work now, as I said, I don't use any more resize. I use Topaz. So let's get back. So I will just delete. Okay, or open to. Okay. Okay. Control Command J as always, and I will open Topaz here in Photoshop, but I will show you if someone here has the answer. You will see what I mean. So filter, Topaz Labs, Topaz AI. So now AI, you have everything inside because before AI, I think, if I remember well, Topaz sold Dinos was one software, Sharpen was another one. Upscale is quite new in this software. So I have to stop the sharing and share again. Here it is. Okay, I think you can see my Topaz window.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So if I open with Photoshop, you see now you have suggestions. He will calculate what he would like to do. He noticed some nerves, some sharpening, upscale, but I prefer, so I will click to remove the suggestion. You can click to show them, by the way, here, but I will add myself what I want. So enhancements, I will just here upscale. Okay, I will upscale, but so you have a lot of AI model here, standard V2, etc. I even I'm not able to explain all these different models. You have to try them one by one, I think. But the problem here, and I don't know if someone has an idea, I'm not able to change any except okay, the pixels, etc. Let me try with some other high fidelity or standard, for example. I don't have the possibility here to change the value, 2048 pixels, anywhere. So I don't understand. I don't understand why. So usually I will stop that. Okay. Okay. Close. Okay, and I will open it. I have it as a standalone on my desktop. So you can, by the way, see what are the suggestions. You see, it's much better. By the way, that's not the case here, but very few times ago, I had one image with a text, and there was one enhancement. I don't know if I will see it here. Yeah, preserve text. Fantastic. It makes, sometimes the edges are not very good when you upscale or sharpen, etc. And here the result was really, really good around the text. So I will not use it. There is no text here. So I will just also here close the suggestion. And by the way, I will close everything. Let me sharpen. So add enhancement, upscale. That's what. And here you see, I can do what I want. And I don't know what I don't see this window in when it's open as a filter in Photoshop. I don't know. I don't have any. So I will buy two. By four, even by four, which will be, you can see the dimension at the top here. Now it will be 8,192 by the same because it's square. So you see, it's really much better. I could ask also, let's denoise. Denoise, you see, will give also. So here you have to play. I try not to put very high values because sometimes you can get some very strange results. Especially I noticed when you sharpen, if it's too much, you can get some very interesting results, not in the good sense. So I do that like that. You see, it's enough for me. And export image, so it will export to the same. It will export to my desktop, and I will open it then in Photoshop. By the way, I try to do also some very, very large upscaling. It can take a lot of time. Sometimes it even did not work. So, but here you see, we had one image with around 722 kilobytes to 16 megabytes image. So, close window. I don't need it anymore. Okay, I close it and I will share my Photoshop. That's my Photoshop, and I will open. By the way, that's, I think, the low result. Yes, that's it. And we will compare with the new one. I have the same here. Okay. Let's see that. Window, arrange. So, okay, on the right with Topaz, on the left before Topaz. See? Oh, it's cleaned, of course, I deno, so we don't see all the artifacts. Consider one very important thing. You are just upscaling. You are not, your image is not much more defined, etc. That's not a miracle. But as you can see, it's really, really much better, and you have much more possibilities to work with your image. Now let's see if I can see here. You see, it's really better. There is something I do more and more, by the way, in Topaz. I like very much. Once again, you need to be very accurate and try with the sharpening. I consider the sharpening with Topaz sometimes better than the result I get with one filter. I use always. By the way, this one is a low file resolution. I will try on something else because I think it's not the best image for that. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at something here now. Maybe I will get back to the castle. Okay. So once again, now we get a much bigger file because we upscale by 4. And yeah, if you want to print, you can get something much more decent than with just 2000 pixels. Okay. So let's close this one for the moment. Yeah, sharpening. For example, as you can see, yeah, maybe it's a good example. Control or Command J, right click, convert to smart object. Convert to smart object, sorry. The tool I like much to, if I want to sharpen in Photoshop, is filter, sharpen, smart sharpen. Okay, of course, here it's much more. We have to play with the amount and the radius, and before, after, so I can exaggerate a little bit so you can see better. So it's a little bit too much, but anyway, you see before and after. More sharp, of course. But I also took this photo, I think, with my Fuji, and I don't get the best from my straight out of camera. I get much better results with my full frame Sony, for example. But anyway, you can see the difference. Now I will just go before, or maybe I can try with. You see, it's much sharper, as you can see, before, after, everywhere. And now let's do the same with Topaz. So I will first open Topaz. So let's drag. But why is it still here? Okay. So let's do the suggestions. I don't see, by the way, a lot of differences here. Okay, let's do myself. Okay, so if I want to, by the way, here I would also denoise because I see a little bit of noise. You see, it's better. It's better, but I will just decrease a little bit denoise and sharpen. Okay, strong, that's very strong. So can I see a before after? I can see here, I think, no? Yeah, the before on the left, and yeah, I think here it's not very, very visible, but anyway, I like, it's quite soft, but it sharpened and denoised also my image. So, it's still working, sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure yes, there is a little difference, but maybe it's not the best image for that. But nowadays, I tell you again, when I want to sharpen, I always try in Topaz to see what is the result. Okay, so let's close Topaz. Don't save. If you have questions about Topaz.
David, when you export the image in AI, where does that image automatically load into Photoshop, or it saves on your
No,
desktop?
it's load where you took it. For example, here I dragged the ballerina from my desktop, and
Okay.
it will export to the desktop. But I can choose another place on my computer. When you say before you save, you are asked where you want to export your image.
Okay.
Of course, if I open Topaz in Photoshop, the export will be directly in Photoshop. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a funny one. I like in the past when I need to share. Sorry. When I took photos, it was exactly the same idea than nowadays when I play with Photoshop. I always try to find funny angles. You can see my image, yeah, my photo.
Yes.
So that's a very famous place near of Paris. That's Basilica, where you can find all the kings and queens of France at their graves. So next plugin I want to show you because I think this image can work well with that. So Control Command J and filter, Nik Collection. So here it will be in front. And let's start with not color effects. For this one, there is one software I liked in the past, but that I don't use much nowadays is Silver FX for black and white. Okay, it's open, and I will need to share again. Here it is. Okay, so conversion to black and white, neutral, underexposed, etc., etc. But of course, on the right now, there is one thing. Here again, it's not the very last version. I think there is a 8 version now. I don't know if some of you have the last one. If you can tell us or tell me. No. Okay, but that's not a very old one because it is 7. By the way, I updated it because it was much faster. Right. the adverse side this time than now it works 30% faster than in the past, and that's the case. I must admit it works now much faster, I think, than in the past. So you can, of course, adjust everything, the contrast. The name here are almost the same. The contrast, you can contrast the highlights, the whites, the blacks, etc. I will show you on another image, architecture, the structure. The structure, I will see on this one, by the way, what is the result. If I increase, I always like, you see, it will sharpen your image. But here also, like I told you in Topaz, I like very, very much the way it will sharpen your image before, after. Of course, I did a little bit too much for you to see. And now, what changed also in the past, you had only one setting for the structure. Now you can set the highlights, midtones, shadows, black, fine structure. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it should does make something more fine, or I don't know. So I like that very much. Well, if you like old film, camera raw, there is something which Silver FX does very well. That's the grain. Because of course in the past, depending of the film you used, 100 ISO, 200, 400, etc., you got more grain, not noise. Nowadays, with our DCLR, we get noise, not grain. So here you have a lot. So I will not insist much here. Modern, I don't know what does it mean, etc., etc. But I much more. Why I don't use it more now? Because I usually like to select myself everything, so I never will apply on the whole image. So that's the reason why I don't, street photo. Okay, it's not street, but yeah, if you are, let's say, lazy, or even not lazy, but you are not used to do all this work of light, contrast, etc. in Photoshop, of course, here again, the plugin can do the job,
Switching
sepia,
behind it.
Yeah,
etc.
I don't know.
Somebody's
I
talking.
thought maybe it was from getting the Botox right there.
Oh, could be.
Is it Mark? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So that's it. With once again, you have different possibilities depending of it's here landscape, classical, modern, street shots, retro, portrait. So portraits, I don't know what it will apply. You see something very flat like that, a little bit sepia, selenium, dark selenium. Yeah. So that's it. But once again, concerning Silver FX, I don't use it much. So I will just cancel. I will get back to just a second. Nik Collection, but with another image. Oh, by the way, I need to show you what I like very much with the structure on one image, which will work much better. So structure here, of course, we have a lot of details. The sharpening is really not bad, but if I apply again the structure, look what will happen. You see? It gives something, I don't know, I always say something more metallic, and I like very, very much the result. With just, you see, I just applied 26% here of the structure and before, after. I will go much more. It's, of course, much more. But yeah, I like that very much. You can get this kind of results in Photoshop with bypass filter and changing the blend mode. But here I like much more the result. So I mostly use Silver FX just for the structure. Mhm. So I will cancel. Control Command J. Yeah, thank you. Duplicate, filter, Nik Collection, sorry, and analog. That's one of my preferred, actually, analog. Okay, I think you can see it. So here you have a lot of different cameras. So I don't know what is this one. A cheap camera, for example, here. So you see, you will get cheap results because a lot of problems with cheap cameras. But look, you can play like that. And of course, everything here, all the setting applies. Here, the details. If you want less details like that, more details as it is set, the lights, the contrast. That's very, very classical. By the way, when we are talking plugins, you will always, like in Luminar, for example, find all the standard setting like light, contrast, saturation, etc. You will find that in a lot of plugins. So distortion of the lens. So I don't know. You see, you can change it, etc., etc. The colorimetry. So that's it. There are a lot like that, but I think that's a cheap camera. Let's do bokeh, for example. You have bokeh. I'm not sure we will see that. So you can also here adjust, you see, everything. So you can change the lights. I don't see much the bokeh, but I'll try to change something here. I don't see much of the bokeh. Let's try another one. Yeah, you see, you get... oh, by the way, scratches here. For example, you can change them. Here, I will click. It works. And you see, you get different scratches. There are much of them intensity, more or less. So you can create like that textures. Very, very easy to do with that. You can decide not to apply, for example, here, the scratches. So, okay, I just unclick and I don't see them. So everything here, oh, by the way, I don't know what is that. Intensity, so less. Okay. So why not? It can be interesting. I like, let's see, Nik. Okay, antiques camera with problems of light. So let's wait a little bit. You see? And as always, you can set everything you like. Double exposure, by the way, for the creative purpose, I like the double exposure. You see, you can double the exposure. You can change here all the problem of light. That's interesting. But nowadays, we will see that later. I much more prefer to do that with Boris FX, which gives a lot of possibilities. So here, you can even double exposure. Wait, I'm just try. Oh, that's another double exposure. We can see better here. You see? And of course, you can change the size, etc. So you can get, by the way, I teach how to do kind of stacking effects. Here you can get them also very easily. And because, of course, you can like that or not at all. But yeah, I think there are a lot of creative possibilities. Mm-hmm. Multiple lenses. Let's try them. I like them also. You can create triptychs. You can move them. You can do, that's the scratches, I think. You can change here horizontal, vertical, more, less, etc. That's if you like very fast triptychs. I try to move it horizontal, okay, etc., etc. Here you have a lot of possibilities also. Retro, double exposure, bokeh. I'm trying to find antiques cameras. I don't find them. Retro, I think. But I think we tried them yet. So that's it. So I will not here insist again because you have a lot of possible. You see the frames. You can change the frame if you like this kind of frames around your photos, your images. You can do a lot. So if I use one software of the Nik collection, it's analog. I like it very, very much, especially, by the way, on flowers, where you can get a very. I'm just trying to find one. Classic. Monochrome, if you want black and white, you can also do black and white here. No, that's it. Yeah, here it is. Antique cameras on plates. And it works a little bit. You see, you can get. I took photos with very old with an antique camera. I had a huge collection in the past. I had something like 250 cameras. You see, interesting. It can be very, very creative in just few clicks. That's what I like. Even if I like to spend a lot of time on my images, that's it. If you have questions about
David, it's Eileen. Just one question. Does it have a masking feature?
No, there is, but I don't use it. There is a brush here at the bottom. It's in French, but apply on the right, cancel or brush, and I think it will go to Photoshop. Sorry, just give me a second. You can brush. Let's try. I even never did that. So Photoshop and you see, you have a brush tool here, which is a tool in a Nik collection. And let's you see, if you brush, it works like a mask here. But I don't know because here brush. I don't see the icons and what it does. Pinceau, appliquer les effets. Well, I don't know. I will do like that. For example, apply. Let's see if it works. And sorry, I don't know what happened, but no, it did not work. Sorry, but yes, you have a brush. You have to test. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, when I apply, let's do. I will do very fast. Okay. Filter, just to show you. Filter, Nik collection. I will even not share, but okay. Even black and white, no problem. Okay. Okay. You still see my Photoshop?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
usually I prefer to get back in Photoshop, and now I will add a layer mask. And if I want to get back my image, my layer underneath, I will work with the mask in Photoshop. Yeah. For me, it's the easiest way.
Yes, thank you. That makes sense.
Huh?
That's great. That makes sense.
Yeah, and visually speaking, and the better mask you get, are, of course, in Photoshop. We will see later with Boris FX because you have directly, you can create masks in Boris FX. But yeah, usually, but before you go to silver here to analog, don't forget to copy, to get to copy Control J, because you will have the result like we have here on a layer, and underneath the clean copy. I mean, before you applied something. Yeah.
Thank you.
Other. You're welcome. Other questions? I will close this one. Or not cancel. Let's open it. There is, I will go anyway to Color FX, which is a very classical one. By the way, it works also on smart objects, but here I don't need them. So filter, Nik Collection and Color FX. By the way, there is a new version. Okay. 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 You can see Boris, Nik Collection, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so here again, it's in France, but cross balance. You can play with color, etc., etc. I do all this work now in Boris FX. White balance. You see two colors. You can of course move them, etc. Why not? By the way, it works quite well. Colorize. If you want to colorize, you can choose, of course, your colors. Let's say, I don't know. Okay, so you will colorize the color you choose, etc. Contrast. I like the contrast, but not this one. Ink. Sometimes I don't. Foliage, by the way, here, that's not foliage, but if you have photos, images with trees, and it's autumn, fall, it can give foliage in English, good results. Nostalgic, etc. You see, a little bit vintage. Okay, etc., etc., and then all the settings. I like sometimes light, sunlight, which will give something warm and with a little bit of glow. If you see before, after, there is a little bit of glow. I like it. So sunlight, Monday morning, I don't know, midnight. Okay. By the way, midnight, here also there is something in Boris FX, we will see it, which is much more interesting, I think. So what I like here, warm, not, I'm looking for, so you have also categories here, you have for architecture, etc. There is something I like, a pro contrast. Or tonal contrast, sorry, it's not this one. There are, I don't use them, so sometimes I'm pro contrast or tonal contrast, SSST, I don't find it. Tonal contrast. I like it. It works very well. You see contrast before, after, and of course, you can adjust the contrast on the highlights, midtones, shadows. So yeah, it can be, you see, it can be interesting. It's a tool which works very, very well. Of course, you can do that very easily in Photoshop. Pro contrast also. Let's see what will it do. But tonal contrast is the best. But there is one, I don't find it. Yeah. One of my preferred is darken, lighten, center. So I click on it, and you see it gave more light here before, after, you see? So it give more light in the center and it will darken outside. Of course, you can set that. The size of the center, for example, you see, more, less, light in the center, less, more. Okay, so you can really adjust that. And also like lights on on the edges. Well, you see, you can get something very interesting in just a few clicks. Here it works. You, of course, can change the place of the center. So by clicking on the plus, and if I click here, you see the center will be here. So that's one of my preferred. Here again, you can create your own vignettes in Photoshop, but with color effects here with this possibility, it's nice. You can. I like also the fog. Easy, very easy to do with Photoshop. Of course, you can change the intensity, etc. Fog, I don't use it here. I use it also in Photoshop. By the way, when you apply something like darken, lighten, center, if you want add to this setting something else, like I don't know which one. Let me. I don't know, colorize. I first need to click on the small plus here, and it will add the what I just applied, colorize. So you have both colorize and the lighten, darken center. Sorry. So that's it. Here you have to play tonal contrast, darken, lighten, center, and sometimes I like you can soften the skin for portraits. It works quite well. It's not too heavy processing. So yeah, but Indian summer. No, with this image, it does not give something interesting. I mean, okay. So you see, darken, lighten, center is here. So if I don't want to apply it now, or Indian summer, I just unclick and apply. Apply. And back to Photoshop.
David, I also like detail extractor in.
Yeah, detail extractor. I agree with you, but for the same reason, I like to do that in Boris FX also. But yeah, if you don't have Boris, yeah, but don't play too much with the details extractor, because if you go too much to the right, it will be looking as a HDR. Yeah, sometimes. But I agree with you. It's a nice tool also. Yeah. Yeah. But it will change a little bit the colors and the atmosphere of your image. I just wanted to show you. I posted this one today, this morning. That's my very brand new series on flowers with with different techniques and different of what you saw. Some of you here were at my online workshop or purchased my tutorial, which is, by the way, on my website. I have a video tutorial on on creative floral art, where I talk about Nik Collection, Boris FX. But here I try to do something a little bit different. So I use not that much, by the way, Boris FX here, but that will be my new course. I experimented quite enough to have a good idea of what I want to show, because here, technically speaking, there are a lot of things. So that was a little information. So I stop that. I will come back to my ballerina. Okay, Boris FX. So Boris FX is a plugin. I will just open it. Boris FX optics, and I'll share my screen again. Okay, I think you can see my screen. Boris FX. So you can see here the interface. There are something like, if I remember well, something like 160 filters, different filters, and multiply by the number of effects. I will just click on one so you can see. Of course, you can get cold as ice. Some of you know very well this one. Let's try something else. You can add texture. So here on the top left, you can see it works a little bit here like Photoshop. You can see the layers. So there is the original layers, the one, another one with the filter I applied, grunge, which is the name of this filter. But if I change here the blend mode, you will see that you can get something. You see, for example, like that. You can see the texture. Okay, so you can play with a lot of things. Let's see. Okay, something changed for the ones here who knows. Here you can have the before and after. It's much easier now with the short key M. Before, after. And you will see it's even better when you add a mask. So there are a lot of things. You see orbs, black and white with orbs, etc. More. I just click very fast to show you windows. There are tons of different windows, texture, which are very interesting. I like, you see, you have smoke, etc. So you can get a lot of incredible results. Soft light, you see, before, after. Soft light is much better than we were talking Nik Collection with the fog, etc. Smoke and fog here also, and what's important, on the right, I will open everything here. Something you can set absolutely everything. The opacity here, for example, the contrast, that's very classical. If you are familiar with the previous version, you probably noticed that now you can set here with the handle, so you can drag to the increase, decrease. Before it was you had to put your cursor on the value and it's the same. That's nothing different, but yeah, probably it's a little bit easier to work like that. So I tell you, for everything related to smoke and fog, which I will use more, of course, in architecture. I don't use that for this kind of subject. Yeah, light leaks. We saw that you can do that with Nik Collection. Of course, you can move everything and apply different light leaks. And here, always, you can change everything. Look at the setting on the right. That's crazy. You see, you could here. I don't know. I will change to blue, and okay, and you see, it changed completely the color. Yeah. So that's it. You have a lot of them. I like some. Wait. Corner berm, cracks, etc. That's contrast. You can play on the contrast. And what is interesting, Once again, if you have a little bit lazy, or I don't like to say lazy, but if you want to see directly the result by clicking, just clicking, that's of course very interesting. So we saw that the glow. You see, the glow is very interesting. I like it, etc., etc. So let's come get back to colors. You can play on the colors. Color corrects, it will be the color grading on master, on shadows, etc. You can have this kind of possibilities in other also software. Curves, you can adjust the curves, etc. Haze, I like haze also. It gives also something I like very much. But of course, here you have so much possibilities that it's difficult to show in just a few minutes. Fog, you see, we were talking fog. You have much more possibilities in color effects, depth of field. You could also adjust the depth of field on the top, on the left, etc., etc. Film Lab, because Boris FX is specialized on special effects for movies, they have, you can see, let's see, cross-processing, for example. That's something you saw also with Nik Collection. So here you can really adjust everything you want. If it does not want, I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, you play like that, and but I want to see the film labs with the names. Just a second. Color. I'm just trying to find something. Sorry. Film Lab. Yeah. You see, you can see the name of the movies. So I'm not a great specialist of movies, but you see, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So it will give the atmosphere of this film. Alien, for example. Yeah, Alien, I remember. It was a green atmosphere like that, a little dark. Apocalypse Now, Beetlejuice. You have a lot of them. And you see, you can really set everything you like. Film stocks, that's the same. You see, you can also have the grain, etc., of camera raw. So I don't use it much. I like very smooth imaging usually. The grain, if you like the grain, you see, you have a lot of old films, 40. We were talking about ISO, which the previous name was ASR, which is the same. So the less you have ISO, the less you have noise. Grain, I mean. Okay. Ultra grain, etc. Gratins. Here also you have tons of possibilities. Image. Here you have some very interesting presets like bending. Of course, there is no bending here, but you can play with the bending, with the D-block, defog. Here, no fog. Denoise. You see, you have also a denoise like in Topaz, but of course here Topaz will do much better. Details sharpen. You see, if you sharpen, the more smoothing here sharpen. So magic sharp. I don't know the magic of it. Paint sharpen. Here, it was details here and sharpen here. So sometimes the bending is interesting because sometimes it can be a problem in some images. So image, and you have all the classic presets. Land distort. So here you will get a lot of fantasy. Sorry for the ballerina here. Yeah. Okay. So that's not what I wanted. Vignette. You can vignette. Okay, you can set, of course, if it's too much, not much, etc., etc. Light. Auroras, I like the Aurora banners, blue velvet, and of course you can change the direction of everything. So you imagine the time you need to discover everything. So it can be some time when you open Boris FX for the first time or the first times, you are a little bit lost. That was my case because there is so much possibilities. But there is something I suggest you do immediately when you like something. For example, I like this preset. I will click here to you have a favorite toggle, and it will be now in my favorites. So I have a collection of favorites I like very much. So Ultra Zap, etc. The texture, I work a lot with the texture, smoke and fog. We saw that, but I work a lot with orbs also. Okay. Orbs, you can change, you see the count, etc. The count, the elimination, everything. That's completely crazy, let's say. Okay, I will image, etc. Here. You can set everything here to make it, I don't know, something like that, or etc. Okay, light. We will not do. Yeah, particle illusion, because now I will just do something to show you how I worked a few days ago with Boris FX and now. Since I tell you some few days, I think it's here, abstract. So you see, you have a lot of possibilities. So I like this effects. It makes me think of motion, the ballerina is dancing and you have the light. I did something like that. I will show you later. But I want just to apply something like that, for example. Okay? So I'm happy with that. You see, you have the name of the preset here. Particle illusion, PI for particle illusion, abstract. Okay? And I'm done with it. Apply. By the way, it works also. I need to share again. Okay, you can see my Photoshop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how I work, I tell you, a few days ago, I apply my effects, and first I would select the ballerina. Oh, I will do that fast with the here, because it's very well the object selection tool. I will take the lasso. I will go around. Okay, I'm not obliged to be accurate at all, and you will see it will find it very easily. Okay, so Control or Command J. So now my ballerina is in a separate layer. Okay, and if I apply that, but I don't want the effect to be on the ballerina, I will just drag the ballerina like that, and my effect will be behind. That's what I wanted, okay? And I can play like that with a lot. For example, I don't know, now I'm in Photoshop. I want to darken my image. I don't want to etc. So that's how I worked until now. Now I will show you with the same thing in Boris FX directly with the new selection tool. Some of you have tried the ML mask or not, Cheryl?
Yes, I've tried a few.
Yeah, you tried? Okay. So I will show you that's one of my, I hope I will not do mistakes because I tried 2 or 3 times just, but okay. So I go to filter, Boris FX, optics. Okay, you can see Boris FX. So now the idea will be to select first here in Boris FX directly the ballerina. So I will add here a mask to this current layer. And I am asked which kind of mask. So the oldest one, the previous one, which still exists, of course, and sometimes I think it can work better. It's easy mask, but now the new one is mask ML. Click, it will work. Just a few seconds. It's loading something. Okay, and now I will just click, and you see, I will add to my selection everything which is red is selected. So look, with just few clicks, I selected my ballerina. I will just here generate edge. It will do a better job. I can here overlay to see the points or not, so I don't need it. And you see now, you have a mask. The mask, the ballerina is white, which means visible, and the background black, not visible. So if I apply something, so let's go to my favorites. I want to day for night. I like this very much. You see, it will be applied, of course, to my dance, to my ballerina, because she is white, like in Photoshop. That's not what I want. So let's undo. I will invert the mask. So here you invert the mask, invert mask. Now my ballerina black, so she's protected, and what will be visible will be around the ballerina. So I click again on day to night, and why it does not work? Yeah, it works, sorry. And you see, now it's around the ballerina. Yeah, before, after, and just one click. I will create a new layer because I would like to put the effects we did previously. So new layer. I will drag the mask. I'm not obliged to do it again. I will just click and drag, and it will be added to my layer, sorry. And I will go to particle illusions, abstracts, and you see, I will apply something the same I applied. This one it was. And you see, now it's behind my ballerina. So the very interesting thing now is that I can see live what I do. For example, here, let's open everything. The transform, world center. You see, if I move, etc., I can see directly. It's much better than what I did previously directly in Photoshop. Here I can see directly what I do. You see here, for example, of course, as always, opacity. Here also I like, it looks like the movement of the ballerina. World center, bigger, smaller, etc. So I like very, very much the idea to see live what I apply. And now, for example, if I want to give a little bit more light to the ballerina, for example, I want to do something on the ballerina with light, or I don't know yet. New layer. I will drag the mask, but I click on it. I will invert it, because now I want something to be applied to the ballerina. And let's say the light, for example, I don't know. Not good, not good. Let's see, image, light, default, too much, no, not good. Let me think what I will apply. Oh, a reflector, for example, looks like, you see, you get much more light, but just on the ballerina. Yeah? And etc. etc. I can add how much I want. Here, for example, or I don't like this one, which was this one, and why I don't see the before. Because I changed. Sorry, I want to change. I want to put some sparkles. Oh, I made a mistake. It's on the ballerina, so I will invert the mask, and it will be behind. Yeah. A star. I don't know what is star. Oh, you see, you can see some glow around. Look. Why not? By the way, it gives an interesting line, and etc. etc. You see. If I want to apply something now to the whole image, I will create a new layer, but without any mask, and I don't know, plans. I don't know what it will be. No, it's not a good idea. By the way, you can have a result like that, completely not understandable, but why not? But let's get back to something more. The aura, for example, you see, it will be on the whole file because there is no mask. By the way, if I drag now the mask here, you see, it's not applied anymore on my ballerina because it's black. So for me, it changed completely the way I will use Boris FX from now. I can show you by the, but there is a very important point here. It works very well because the selection is really easy to do. The contrast was very good with between the details between the ballerina and the background. So it's easy, but if you have a much complicated image, by the way, I tried with a bouquet of flowers, and sometimes it was not very, very good. Yeah. Do you
David,
have questions here?
Yeah, where the software that you're using, I'm seeing, what is it called? And I don't see the download for that. What is it actually called?
Boris, I will show you on the website. Boris FX.
Oh, okay.
Wait, here, help. Where is the name here? By the way, I don't see the name anywhere. I will show you then the website.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Cheryl, did you try that?
I haven't tried all of it yet, but that is so much easier than the old
Incredible,
way,
right?
which was confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so much nicer.
Yeah. And once again, you see live what you do. Because when you apply something, you come back to Photoshop, you delete from the ballerina, you come back, you can't adjust. Like here, if I want adjust here the circles, I don't know where they are. PI abstracts. Here they are. Here, PA abstracts. No, that I'm not on the right layer. Sorry. Here it is, I think. Sorry. Yeah. I can always change what I want to change. And I did something wrong because I'm not on the right layer. Here you see. Yeah. But anyway, you see, why I'm not on this layer. Maybe I have to. Yeah. Sorry, I have to click here. I'm not yet very completely used with, so I have to click here to make the layer active. And now, yeah, if I want to change something to that, no problem, no problem. Yeah. So it changed. I agree completely the way to use Boris FX. Yeah. Do you have
Sorry.
other question? Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Boris FX at all. So how is this easier? Like, how did you get to where you are?
Sorry?
It seems like the other person was saying that it was more difficult, a different way, and you're showing her a new way. I missed.
The new way is a new feature of. By the way, let's cancel. I will cancel that. Or no, sorry, cancel. I will apply. Okay, so it will be applied to Photoshop. So I share again Photoshop. Okay, I think you can see Photoshop.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, it was Virginia, I think. Filter, that's the name of the plugin, Boris FX. Optics.
But how is that different than what she was doing before? I don't understand. I mean, I don't. So, but never. I guess that doesn't matter. So it's like every other plugin. You just use it in Photoshop.
Yeah, I think it works also as a standalone, but I always use it as a filter in Photoshop. Yeah. If you want, wait, I will just stop my sharing and show you the website so you can have a look at how it works. Boris FX.
So it costs $100 a year for that?
Wait, I will show you. I'm just sharing the website, so it will be easier for you. Yeah. Something like that. Okay, you can see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the name of the plugin, but the software, the company, Boris FX, and they have a lot of products here. But once again, the only one for, and I think particularly generally so, but optics, that's optics. You click on it, okay, and you can see the price here, by the way. Yeah, the subscription, it's in euros here, but that's about similar in you see, you can use it standalone and multi-host plugin. So in Photoshop, subscription, that's the price for the subscription, sorry. And if you want the perpetual license, it's 145 euros, so something. By the way, you can change the price. Sorry, USD, USD, and why? Dollars. Okay, $99 USD and perpetual 149 for our Canadian friends. Okay, subscription. 145 and perpetual license 215. Yeah, so you can see here you have a lot of videos. You have some tutorials, by the way, which are so you can see a lot of. By the way, I think they put one image of mine here on the website. Let me check.
So do you have a subscription, or do you find that if you just buy a copy, the perpetual license, has that served you well, or do you think it's better to get the subscription?
So that's it. That's for I know they put something of just a second. Optics. There is of course a free trial if you want to. Two features. You see, you have a lot here of that's the new masking, by the way, etc. So I stop sharing.